there's a fungus among us. I just want to say that, However, that really is what we are talking about right now.
Gardening expert Ginny Rosenkranz. She is here. She's with the University of Maryland Extension and is leading the charge on lichen. I'm liking it, Ginny. I'm liking that you're here.
Well, it's like that old joke, the fungus and the algae got together because they likened each other. And you did it. I was like, yes, that's so cool.
So that is what lichen is. It's fungus and algae together?
Yes, it's a friend-friend relationship. And a lot of people walk right past it all the time. And usually they only notice it if it's on a plant that has lost all its leaves, like in the fall, things lose their leaves, or if the plant is dying. And they're like, oh, this has killed my plant. No, it did. Because these guys need the water that the tree provides. But the fungus is really cool. So the fungus provides the shape. Okay. And the shape is always different because there's so many different cool funguses out there. But the algae, and it also provides moisture because it's cup-like, it holds moisture. And it also provides a little bit of the nutrients from the moisture as it comes off the trees. But the algae has chlorophyll, which means it makes its own life. It makes its own sugars like a regular plant does. So it shares the sugars, and it's kind of like, fungus is almost like a root where roots pull up water and nutrients, and that's what the fungus does. And the algae reacts like a leaf where it feeds the rest of the tree. So those two are friend, and but they have these gorgeous shapes which are really cool.
Now what is that?
So this is it's one of the lichens that I found on one of my trees. And like I said, there are so many different colors and textures. So that's one that I think is really cool. And this one shows you different shades of green, which I think is really kind of cool. So they have kind of a mossy green here and a gray green here. So there's different colors on each lichen, which is so cool. And you'll find them on teeny tiny sticks like this, and it takes them a long time to grow. These are ancient critters, but they're also slow growing. But then you get a large branch like this, and it's just like, wow, the whole thing is covered. So I have trees that are completely covered in lichens, and I have trees that aren't covered at all, don't have a speck of lichen.
So do they serve a purpose as far as the trees are concerned?
Well, actually, they're just hanging out.
Just hanging out.
They're hanging out. They're not disturbing the trees. The fungus actually has like little teeny tiny root-like things called, never mind. Anyway, they're like roots, and they hold on to the bark. But if you have a high wind, they blow off like this does.
And take some of the bark with them.
And they take some of the bark with them. So, they just fall off like that.
Okay, and I see you have moss there.
Yes.
That's just to talk about contrast? Or?
Right, well, because a lot of people think that lichen might be a moss on the tree, and you can have moss growing on a tree, but for the most part, moss grows on the soil. And it grows around the tree trunks and all that kind of stuff. So I just brought the moss to say that it's a different color, it's a different critter entirely, it's a different plant, whereas these guys are very special.
So if you have lichen on your trees, just leave them be?
Yes. You know what's really cool about lichens also? They actually help us because they're a sign of good air quality.
Oh.
And back in the 70s, before they had the catalytic converters, and people were driving cars and trucks and buses that all this smoke and smog and all that kind of stuff.
There was no lichen.
Oh my gosh, no lichen whatsoever. None.
Now we got lichen.
And now we got lichen. I'm liking it.
I'm liking it as well. And I'm liking all we learned today.
Boy, no kidding.
Right?
I mean, wow.
Ginny, as always, thank you so much.
Thank you, and thanks for letting me bring my lichen friends.
Anytime.